Hi. Okay, so I'm going to give you the lowdown on how I sell my clothing. I like to do it more in the afternoon because the lighting's better, so I'll use natural light. And I usually take my photos in my room because it's classy and clean. So right now I'm working on this piece. This is a brand new Anthropologie top. Tags are still on it. So this would be called NWT, new with tags. So I have two different dummies. I have my pink one and I have a black one. And depending on the look, I'll decide which one I'm going to put it on. So in this case, I've chosen the pink because it's a little brighter and this top is a little bit brighter, the look of it. So I'm going to place it on my mannequin. And I've gotten my mannequins at Hobby Lobby. They're well priced. You know, they have coupons that they run, and then you can get it 50% off. So that's even better. And the key is your lighting and the way that you're presenting your item. So I'm making sure everything looks good. And then I just use my phone because our phones are so good as cameras now. So that looks pretty good. But I'll really be able to see it through the lens of my camera. So I'm going to grab my camera and begin to check it out. Okay, so here's what I'm looking for. I do not want to be seen in the shot. So I'm looking for that, and then I'm finding angle. And because this is just a top and nothing else, I'm going to zoom in on this and go, okay, that looks pretty good. Because you're trying to give your customer an idea of detail and desiring it, wanting it, and I go all angles. So the fact that this is like a tank top underneath, they're gonna be able to see that through the mannequin. This top's really easy to work with. Sometimes I have vintage pieces where I look at every single detail and go, okay, what's gonna show this off best? You know, what's gonna be true to the item that they're getting. I've had very few items returned to me. And by the way, I can also see what's in the background because it's all about presentation. You have no idea how many people do not know how to make their photos look good. And then it doesn't look like a desirable item to buy. So I've gotten enough on the angles. I can take it off the mannequin now. Next, I go in for details like the actual tag. So I'm going to show who the label is. The fact that this had a price tag on it. This is a medium. I got the label. They can see that this was Anthropologie because things like that, Anthropologie, Free People, people hit on that stuff big time. And that item is done. So let me show you something more vintagey that I'm going to sell. I'll be over there in just a sec. I'm getting it off the hanger. Okay. So this is a vintage item. Now, ironically, I bought this item off of Etsy, but it's had its time with me. I'm kind of that way with my clothes. They have their seasons. They have a reason for why I get them and wear them. And then I'm like, okay, time. Oh, you know what? See, this isn't going to look good on the pink. I need the black one. You really have to pay attention to the details in order to sell well, which I think you'd be great at because you totally pay attention to stuff like that. I can see by the way you design your house. Okay, let's put this dress on the black mannequin. It's going to look better, present better. And putting her on here. So, you know, you want to find a mannequin that's going to work with your clothing size too. And you can totally get that on Amazon as well. Amazon's very distinct about that. So I'm going to begin buttoning this dress, making it look good. This is the thing about the vintage items, the ones that I've bought. Man, so petite. I don't know what those women were wearing. Like, what kind of girdles were they wearing? Or nowadays, I know we have Spanx, but it's not the same. They got them cinched so tight in the waist. Like, for instance, the waist on my mannequin is too big. And I remember when I would wear this, I'd be like, oh, suck it up, buttercup. Like,
And I think I remember it would pop sometimes and I'd have to put it back together, like, don't eat lunch that day. This was a dress I wore as a teacher, and I used to run a chess club for a year. And so this has all these chess pieces. So darling. So I had bought this on Etsy. Well, I'm done. I'm not running that chess club anymore. It's an adorable dress, but it's time to move on to somebody else's home to have a new adventure. Okay, so that teeny tiny waist. Woo! Okay, so making sure I'm not in the shot because you can see me in that mirror. Sometimes what I'll like to do is with the mirror, I'll put it at an angle where I can see both front and back. That looks pretty cool. And I don't want to see the computer that's filming this. So I've got that hidden behind the dress. You really have to pay attention to those details. And then I find a good angle. And there's the front. I'm going to get the back. This thing actually shows pretty well because like sometimes I really have to smooth out the wrinkles. And then when an item is bought, I will make sure there's no flaws. Like I'll cut extra strings. I'll maybe do an anti-wrinkle spray on it and get all the, because I want my products to be presented well. I think I was mentioning the only time I've had stuff returned, only once. I had one item returned and the girl said, yeah, it didn't fit me. But that item sold within a week. So I was more specific the next time about the sizing of it and that it wasn't stretchable and that item sold in another week. So now I would take my photos, upload them to my laptop, and then I would go into my Etsy site. And you're allowed to post 10 different photos for each item. The items are only 20 cents a month to basically put onto your shop. And they only charge you 20 cents a month per item. But as you sell things, that comes out of your profit. And it's really nothing. It's so inexpensive. Because I used to have a booth at the Antique Mall here locally in town. And that was so expensive, I barely made any money to rent a booth there. And I sold a lot of stuff, but I was barely going even there. Here, it's like no overhead. So go on to Etsy and look at shops that you like and look at the way that they're presenting things and what they're saying about their items. I try to give as much detail as I can. The more detail that you give, the less questions are going to come your way. And that took me some learning. At the beginning, I had questions coming to me about items, and now I don't get any questions because I give so much detail. So it's 20 cents per item a month. My shop, I will only carry about 15 items within my shop at one time. That's for two reasons. Number one, when you're listing on Etsy and doing all this, uploading the photos, giving the details, you'll see there's a list of things that they ask you for as well to help you because of the way people look for things through the site. So it's actually good, but it's time consuming. Like I would say each one of my items between taking the photos and doing all the uploading is definitely 30 minutes per item. So right now I've had like 3 things sell this week, and that's to replace that. That's an hour and a half for 3 items. So you kind of have to know that. It's have it, do those things when you've got time. Like if that's at night for you, great. But I like to do it in the afternoons, like I said, because I just take the photos, I go downstairs and I upload all my stuff. And your funds come in automatically. So for instance, somebody bought a pair of shorts and they're from New York City, and I through the Etsy site they'll do the label for you, they'll print it out, they notify the customer, hey, they're going to send it out, and then you get that item out as soon as you can. The more you do things right for your own shop, the better your reputation. I've been doing this, I guess like 10 months now, and I've had 42 sales, so that's pretty good. I mean, I've definitely made several $100s. I'm not up to 1,000 yet. I'm also reasonable with my prices, which is why I think stuff sells, because I'm like, why not? I want it to move,
And at the same time, I don't want to be overpriced for it to be sitting there. I want it to move. I want the items to move. So I was mentioning to you, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. Okay, so Etsy takes care of everything. They let the customer know it's on its way. They print out the USPS sheet for you to put onto your package, and definitely go through USPS. I've tried FedEx. It's so expensive. So go through, that's United States Postal Service. Go through them. They're just a really great machine, the way that they operate. They have it down. I mean, their commercials are up on the television, and I'm not having to pay for that. That's awesome. So I was a customer of theirs for years, and I would get so much cool stuff through it. And then now that I'm no longer teaching and my lifestyle's changed, I'm like, it's time to move these cute clothes. So the guy to New York, so I sent his stuff out today, and he'll be able to track it and follow it through USPS. And it usually gets to them in a couple of days, and the shipping's not too bad. And ironically, the way that Etsy does it, they let you make a little bit of money off the shipping, but they handle it so that I guess people don't take advantage of that. So I always make a little more through the shipping. Not much. It depends on the item, but that's kind of cool. So I enjoy it. It's a hobby. I'm moving things out of my closet, which I'll show you. I've always been a little bit of a clothes horse. Ta-da! That's my closet. Oh, yeah. It's fun. But I took pictures of like 5 items today, so that's going to take me a while. And these are still more things that I have yet to put up. So they're just waiting for me to get the time to put them up. So try it. See if you like it.